Times Influence Initiative.
The Digital India Summit and Awards 2017, hosted annually by the Times Network and now in its third edition, has become a thought leadership platform on powering the country's digital economy. And the Digital India Heroes series is an attempt to highlight the award-winning, groundbreaking digital initiatives that are transforming India's corporate and socio-economic landscapes alike. Reconnect Energy Solutions is taking the energy space by storm. With its state-of-the-art artificial intelligence-based platform, the company is empowering utilities, renewable generators, and grid operators to accurately predict wind, solar, and electric demand. The Reconnect platform, with its state-by-state digital deployment, is bringing energy forecasting to the forefront.
When it comes to the utilities industry, innovation is typically not the first word that comes to mind. That said, what role does an artificial intelligence platform like Reconnect play in this whole equation, and what's it designed to achieve?
A lot of wind and solar capacity is getting added up, primarily driven by national objective of having energy independence, having clean and green energy, and also adding value to the ecosystem. In the process, what has happened is the renewable generation, wind and solar, is quite fluctuating in nature. The more capacity you add up, the more difficult it becomes for utility managers to handle the grid. Likewise, if the supply keeps going up without having adequate demand, again it has a problem. This problem has to be addressed by having right demand-supply balance from the utilities point of view. And with growing renewable energy demand, changing demographic, the fluctuating demand adds up to the problem. That's where there is a need to do predictive analytics, which can enable you to understand how your demand is going to look like tomorrow, how your wind and solar generation going to look tomorrow or day after or a week after, so that you can plan your resources and demand supply balance in a real time basis. If it is not done, there are issues, and we have seen those issues coming up in states like Tamil Nadu, where in 2014 roughly about 200 million units of electricity was not allowed to be generated by the wind generator because the grid could not accommodate. This was the amount of energy which could have otherwise powered entire Sri Lanka for 3 full months.
Why and how are predictive analytics around wind, solar, and electric demand and generation even important?
The modeling of predictive analytics, if you see, the entire game is different when it comes to demand vis-a-vis wind or solar. Wind or solar is primarily driven by weather, whereas demand is primarily driven by weather plus political events plus socio-economic development plus a lot of local events, so on and so forth. So where we come from, Reconnect as well as Reconnect, is basically we bring expertise in the energy market. We bring expertise in the power scheduling framework that a country has adopted in. So it is not only a forecasting as an algorithm, but it also enables you to understand what is the need. Reconnect is a single technology stack, enables all the category of users. It's technology agnostic, it is geography agnostic, and that's how we differentiate. It's a single stack, gives you complete access to your wind, solar or electric demand. From the predictive analytics point of view, you can have your application running on your desktop, on your laptop, on your iPad, on your mobile, and it also gives you last mile connectivity.
How has going digital offered Reconnect an advantage over existing solutions available in the marketplace today?
The second largest data would be in energy after healthcare. There's tons of data being metered, monitored, stored, but hardly utilized. The utility space is still kind of resistant to change or adopt new things, and that's where I think the digital transformation is going to come handy, starting from accommodating larger amount of renewable energy, bringing larger level of efficiency in asset maintenance and management, also ensuring that grid is safe and reliable. The entire framework and ecosystem, if you see, it is going to be driven by data. What it needs is a user-centric approach a platform can provide, where what are the exact needs of a user are tailor-made and presented in a very, very scalable format. A classic example is today Reconnect empowers roughly around 400 plus wind and solar farms across India. Likewise, the same platform is also being adopted by state grid operators in Gujarat. In Rajasthan, we are doing a state level wind power scheduling for entire state. For entire western and southern region, it is being provided as a composite package where the grid operator will not only have visibility of wind demand and solar forecasting, but entire package to be presented in a single dashboard where they can have a full view of entire system. And that's where we differentiate. There are hardly any players who can offer everything in a composite package with the same degree of accuracy which is expected otherwise.
So to talk numbers for a moment, if you had to both quantify and classify the impact that Reconnect has had to date, how would you do so?
Yeah, pretty interesting question. So in terms of the impact, if you see, at a socio-economic level, it carries a huge impact because a platform like this enables larger accommodation of renewable energy, which is the need, which is the objective that Government of India has set up, where we are aiming to have 170 gigawatt of capacity to be installed by 2022, which is not far off. And if you have to handle such a large amount of renewable energy, wind or solar, which are fluctuating in nature, you need technical tools. As I gave example earlier that in Tamil Nadu 2014, 200 million units of electricity were not allowed to be generated. This was the estimate provided by Indian Wind Power Association. The financial impact of that, if you see, that was roughly about 1,000 crore in single financial year, spanning those 4 months of period. That much amount of wealth got eroded from all the private investors, right? And it's a huge amount. When it comes to solution like this, the cost of implementing that solution is not huge, right? It's more about adopting to a new technology. The other impacts, if you see from the utility perspective, the private utilities and public utilities today, when it comes to scheduling energy on a day-to-day basis, if you deviate from what you have committed at a regional level or at a national level, you end up taking a lot of financial penalties. And utility deals with large numbers. That penalties also runs into hundreds of crores annually. So if they can take predictive analytics as one good measure to reduce those losses, a lot of money can be saved even for utilities. So it solves the problem of a generator wanting to meet compliance, where the regulator would come and say you have to do forecasting, grid operator needs it. From there, a grid operator who would want to see everything variable to be captured and presented in one way. From that to a utilities whose objective is to just procure energy and supply to a private consumer, but in the process they have to commit a quantum, and if they commit incorrectly, they end up taking a lot of penalties. So we capture all three elements. There is huge financial benefit for all the three components or stakeholders, be it grid operator or a utility or a private generator. All of them, they need this, and the more we go gung-ho about renewable, the need for platform like this will become even more magnified.
How scalable is this model, and what's been your approach to attaining and retaining your customer base?
We started forecasting exercise in 2013, which came up as a regulatory intervention. At that time, we were catering roughly about 10 wind farms in India. Solar was not a big capacity at that time. Today, we not only have more than 400 wind farms which are operational on Reconnect, we also have 4 grid operators hooked up to the state, same platform, representing roughly about 100 gigawatt of capacity between wind, solar and demand, which is being forecasted on daily basis. Today, the platform sends out energy schedules to various grid operators all over India, to the tune of close to 3,500 schedules a day. So that has been the growth so far, and now the platform is ready. We don't need much of an intervention when it comes to adding new capacity. We are quite ready to scale up even at international level now.
As a company, you have lofty goals ahead. That said, what fuels the entrepreneurial spirit here at Reconnect Energy Solutions?
I think primarily it's the desire to do things differently and also bring innovation in this sector, because principally this is my personal belief that we as a country have become country of importers and integrators. We are the first company offering this solution at a commercial grade. There is no other company. All our competitors are, whether they are from Europe or US, Chinese companies are also now competing for same work. There is no Indian company who has a credible solution which could be offered. And that's what I think the major driver for us, that can we create a technology in India, for India, and eventually market it globally and compete at an international scale. So that is, I think, the deepest desire that we have, apart from being excellent in our own business and see that the solutions we offer are globally acceptable.
It's time for a short break, but up next, our Digital India Summit Winner Series continues. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Digital India Summit Winner Series. Making home ownership a reality for India's urban and rural sector alike is National Housing Bank. And we did a deeper dive on the underlying digital technology that powers their platform.
Providing subsidies for affordable housing to the economically weaker and lower income group segments is National Housing Bank. With its credit-linked subsidy scheme powered by an integrated 24/7 online platform, the bank is seamlessly catering to the interests of several stakeholders in a multi-structured environment. In this way, National Housing Bank is helping eligible households attain the home of their dreams.
So I'd like to start off with some of the existing loopholes in the system. Why are so many eligible families from low-income groups denied home loans today?
Always it is said that the low-income group is not getting the loan, which is not right, because that are more anecdotal than now data-driven. Yes, if you ask me the question, can we take it from 30% to 40% or 40% to 50% in unit terms? Absolutely yes. There is much more to be done in that area. Both financial institutions and NHB, probably as a nodal agency for Housing for All, will work towards doing it. But indications are this year data is going to be much higher. On number of unit basis, which should be the right comparison, from 33%, we expect this year 38 or 40% of the financial, when I say banks as well as the housing finance companies, to go into the low income group.
And what is National Housing Bank's approach to the problem?
Programs like the credit-linked subsidy scheme. And how the scheme works is, it is a 6.5% subsidy which is discounted for 20 years and given to you upfront. Which means if my loan amount is 6 lakhs, I get upfront a 2.3 lakhs credit into my account and my principal stands reduced by that amount. So far we have disbursed subsidy is 540 crores out of the total subsidy of 555 or whatever disbursed. NHB has disbursed 540 crores. Approximately to about 26,000 households. Now if you see, and we meet many of those beneficiaries, they are all auto rickshaw drivers, sometimes primary school teachers, sub-staff in government schools, firemen. So it's rightly going toward the segment which is intended to go to make the dream Housing for All come true. And this 540 crores, if you see, is much higher than all the government schemes done so far put together, which clearly shows that is moving towards a much bigger success. We moved the entire checking, as we call as the audit, to the post-disbursement level, because the goal is these customers should get their subsidy before the first EMI hits their account. Technically, a bank will take 15 days after the loan disbursal to load it, claim it. So it's more pressure on us to disburse it. With this portal, we started originally by about 10 days, moved to 1 week. And I think the latest few disbursals, we have moved to literally 4 days, not even 4 working days. Now we expect the MIG to take off in a big way, because this 25 to 40 lakh segment, as we call it, is always a cream for any housing finance company, be it a large company, be it banks. So there to have an incentive, which is up to 9 lakhs and 12 lakhs respectively, is a very good thing. It actually brings down your interest rate by 50 to 75 basis points in a way of speaking, though actually the principal will come down, and it's going to be a great boost to the country on the housing sector.
And what role will technology play in this equation?
So now we are enhancing the existing CLSS system for a much higher capability and capacity with more safeguards. Today with the technology, everything could be enhanced. Once you have a basic system, it's just building on top with much more safeguards and a need for much more speed is not a very difficult thing. And that's what we have been doing.
And how does one humanize the home loan application process in your view?
At lower end, exactly what you said is the issue. The moment you say it's rejected, if my loan or your loan is rejected, you will go and question, why have you rejected it? What is the basis? He's not going to come back and question you. So it's very important we not only give that rejection, because it might be the right credit call to do the rejection at that point in time, but it is also very important we explain to the reasons and probably go one step ahead and advise him what has to be done for him to get the loan later. I think that technology cannot solve, only a human interaction can solve. But where technology will come in there, I think today what we lack and everybody lacks is what is the total rejection done in each of these segments? What is the total, and for what reason? What is the total approval done in these segments? A consolidated database is a challenging one. We have been talking to banks and HFCs, but even, let me admit it, not able to find a robust solution to that. That is needed. For example, at the click of a button, can we know or government know how much applications came in which could have been eligible for CLSS, and how much was sanctioned by the institutions and how much was rejected and for what reason? That is a challenge.
Welcome back to the Digital India Summit Winner Series. Transforming how the trucking industry transports cargo is startup Future Trucks Logistics. We set foot in the field ourselves to get it laced. Equipping truck owners with technology is logistics management systems provider Future Trucks Logistics. The startup has made modernizing the transport of cargo its main mission by empowering fleet owners, small and large, to go digital with their freight.
So to kick things off, what are some of the biggest bottlenecks plaguing the trucking industry today from your point of view?
When we look at this segment, trucking, basically you have three players in it. One is truck providers, people who own trucks. One of the customers who basically need trucks for movement. And third is the regulating bodies. So the SME sector, which is the most vibrant sector in India, they are not actually getting the best services which they can. And it's not that the transporter, the small transporter, they don't want to give that service. It's that they are not currently empowered to do that. So, so there's an imbalance which is there in the whole system.
How is Future Trucks attempting to solve the problem?
We have struggled for this for last, almost a year. When we started this platform, the idea was, we have created something amazing and people should start using from day one. But it's very difficult to create that traction. So what we have done is we have created two different products for that. First is our GPS system, where we have tried to look at what are the current problems or what are the real issues of the industry. The industry issues are that they are not sure that where the location, what is the current location of truck, where for how many hours the truck is running, for how many hours the truck is standing at certain location, for how long truck is maintaining the average speeds, when it is over speeding. So that is the stepping stone that gives us a foot inside the small time trucker. Right? Second thing is the LMS, which is logistics management system, which we have built for slightly bigger transporters, like having a transporter having say 20 trucks, 25 trucks or more. So on that they can manage entire arena of applications, like right from say booking management, billing management, GRN management, looking at the profitability of individual customers, looking at the profitability of various routes, how the various drivers are performing, and then making sense out of it, and in very easy reports which they are getting in their own languages. Once they move to a LMS stage, then they are ready for the platform, which is the real vision of the company, that we have marriage of a transporter and a customer happening on its own without any market maker.
How do the various stakeholders come into the fold? How do you source vendors? How do you source customers?
When it comes to customer sourcing, currently we are focusing only on top-end customers. The reason for that is that we want to win trust of our transporters, that okay, whatever payments you're doing on time. Whatever commitment you are saying on, say, loading timelines or say vehicle timelines, that is being followed. Once we have that trust of transporters, then we'll start working on SME side of load, people who have cargo, and also enable them the way we are enabling our transporters. When it comes to transporters, we have a complete due diligence process where we completely check the credentials, the registration, driver details, and then we monitor using the GPS the movement of those trucks, how they're moving, how they're driving those trucks, are they doing it rightly, and based on that we induct those transporters.
How scalable is this model and what can help drive mass adoption?
Scalability comes from three perspectives. First is scalability is when I as a transporter, I am earning money. So we are trying to improve on the efficiency of the trucks. And once these trucking companies or small time truckers, they start making money, they add more to their fleet. Because they earn, they can invest. Second part is efficient utilization of resources through the SMS systems of loading, unloading, making sure the driver knows the exact locations, even guiding them through navigation system that okay, this is the best route you should follow, or in this route at this time you will have this much traffic. So having intelligent systems which helps them in efficiently using the trucks. The third part which comes here is how you enable your customers, which we have not started yet. Right now we are working only with top-end customers. But once we have this thing working smoothly for say a period of 3 to 4 months, then we will start thinking out how to induct the SMEs and how to bring them and giving them top-end services.
So you have the physical infrastructure in place. There's the technology piece of it also in place. How do you ensure a seamless integration in the rollout of the solution?
When we started, we had a very different model in our mind. But today, when we look back at it, it's totally different. It's totally changed. We never thought that we'll get into GPS navigation ourselves. We never thought that we'll have, say, a software which is designed only to catering to a transporter taking care of their own fleet. We thought initially just having, say, a platform like Amazon, which has a buyer and a seller. But it is evolving every day. Again, say you have a GST coming. It'll again go through different changes. The software needs to be realigned. You have to have different efficiency levels because GST, my feeling is improve efficiency of trucking at least by 5-10%. So it's evolving every day. It's very difficult to answer at this stage. But the vision here is that the motto of the company is that in next 5 years we want to at least touch 5 lakh truckers and make their life easier.
Well, that brings the Digital India Hero series to a close. We look forward to following the progress of the country's most innovative initiatives that are well poised to usher India and ultimately empower India into a new era of digital transformation.
Times Influence Initiative.